Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Yesterday I saw this ad from Build, and so I decided to look into this to find out what's up with this ad. So today we are diving into one of the most pressing issues in the Toronto real estate market: government fees and taxes. As Build claims, these charges are adding up to 25% to the cost of a new home. So we are gonna take a look at this claim from different angles and see what's up with it. So here's the deal. According to a recent report from the Building Industry and Land Development Association, we call it BUILD, a staggering 25% of the cost of a new home in the GTA comes from the government fees and taxes. These fees include everything from development charges, parkland levies, community benefit charges, and so on. For example, if you're buying a single family home in Toronto, you could be looking at additional $165,000 in fees and also for a condo, that number is roughly around $122,000. These are the numbers that Bill is suggesting in the report. These numbers sound insane. So where are all these extra costs coming from according to the Bill? Let's break it down. First one is development charges. Development charges are and have always been a big one. Those people who have been dealing with pre-construction properties, they know how hefty the development charges could be. These are the fees that municipalities charge to help cover the cost of infrastructure, such as roads, transit, sewage system, and etc. for the new developments. And guess what? These charges have skyrocketed over the last decade. According to Build, development charges in the GTA have increased by 6-fold since 2009. In Toronto, these fees for a two-bedroom unit jumped from $36,000 in 2018 to $55,000 in 2021. And it gets even crazier when you compare Toronto to other major cities. In San Francisco or New York, for example, the government-related costs are about 3 times lower than in Toronto. Yep, Toronto's development fees are significantly higher than those in some of the most expensive United States cities. So on a side note, I wanted to fact check this claim. So I started searching online and I came across a study from the CMHC with the title of Government Charges on Residential Development in Canada's Largest Metropolitan Areas. This report from CMHC dated July 2022. And the study compared Toronto and Montreal with other cities, and Toronto, surprisingly, is surpassing other Canadian cities when it comes to development charges and levies. To put it simply, the government fees in Toronto are pushing up prices faster than almost anywhere else in North America. While there's a clear need to fund infrastructure for new developments, many argue that the scale of these fees is just too high. And the approval process for new developments can take years, adding, let's say, $50,000 to $100,000 more to the final cost due to delays. Number 2, comparison with other major cities in North America. Here's a really eye-opening comparison. A study by Altus Group found that the government fees in Toronto are about 3 times higher than in cities like San Francisco or New York. Think about that for a second. Toronto's fees are outpacing some of the priciest markets in the United States. In Vancouver, government charges for high-rise condos are about $140,000 for a 1,000 square foot unit. But Toronto still beats it in some cases. Number 3, why does this matter? Well, for homebuyers, this means that a significant chunk of what you're paying isn't going towards the actual property, but rather fees and taxes. And for the sellers, it makes homes harder to afford, which impacts the entire market. On top of that, the high fees are also limiting new housing developments. Municipalities like Toronto can take up to a year or 2 to approve a new housing project, and each delay tax on more costs. In the end, these costs are passed right onto the home buyers. By housing projects, I'm not talking about getting a permit to build, for example, laneway housing in your backyard, which can be done within a few months. I'm talking about the time that you need to go through the committee of adjustment meetings and jump through other hoops to get a site plan approval for a condo building. So that's it for today's deep dive into how taxes and fees are affecting Toronto real estate market. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you have any question or thoughts, drop them in the comments below and let us know, do you agree with what Build says, or you think that report is super biased? I would really like to know your take on this ad and what Build says in their article. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.